My 4-year-old daughter, Lily, started talking to an imaginary friend named the Tall Man. As a parent, I didn't think much of it. Kids have active imaginations. She would sit in the corner of a bedroom, whispering and giggling at the empty space. One night, around 2 a.m., I woke up to a strange static sound coming from the baby monitor. I looked at the screen. Lily was sitting up in bed, pointing toward the dark corner of her room. I heard her small voice through the speaker. "No, don't wake Daddy up. He's tired." A chill ran down my spine. I decided to check on her. As I walked down the dim hallway, I noticed something that made my heart drop. The front door of our house was wide open, letting the cold night air inside. I rushed into Lily's room and grabbed her. "Lily, who were you talking to?" I whispered, panicking. She looked at me with innocent, sleepy eyes and pointed to the open window. "The Tall Man. He said he used to live in this house before he went to prison. He just wanted his old keys back from under my bed." I looked under her bed and found a small pile of freshly carved wooden dolls and a sleeping bag that hadn't been there the day before. He hadn't been breaking into our house. He had been living under her bed for 3 weeks. I work the night shift as a lone security guard in a newly renovated, historic office building. The job is usually boring, consisting of watching CCTV monitors and doing hourly walks. One rainy Tuesday at 3 a.m., I noticed a glitch on camera 4, which views the long, isolated basement corridor. A figure in a yellow raincoat was standing at the very end of the hallway, facing the wall. Thinking it was a janitor or a lost stranger, I used the building's intercom system. "Sir, the building is closed. Please head to the main exit." The figure didn't move. Instead, they slowly raised their hand and tapped on the wall. Suddenly, the power flickered and the monitor went black for 2 seconds. When the screen came back on, the figure was gone. I sighed, assuming they had walked away, but just to be safe, I decided to check the basement myself. I took the elevator down. The doors opened to the cold, dark basement. I shone my flashlight down the corridor. Nobody was there. I walked to the exact spot where the figure had stood. On the concrete wall, written in fresh, wet mud, were the words, "Look behind you." I panicked and instantly turned around, swinging my flashlight. The hallway was completely empty. I let out a breath of relief, thinking it was just a sick prank. My walkie-talkie buzzed. It was the automated system from the security booth upstairs. A text notification popped up on my phone from the AI camera software. "Motion detected in security booth, guard present." I looked back at the wall. The mud didn't say "look behind you." It said, "I am upstairs now." My house has a very specific, terrifying rule. It's a cognitive anomaly that my family has dealt with for 3 generations. We call it the 10% rule. Whenever you enter a room in this house, there is a 10% chance that the room will be slightly wrong. It's never anything grand like ghosts or blood. It's always structural. You might walk into the kitchen and the ceiling is 6 inches lower than it was 5 minutes ago. You might walk into the living room and the window is on the opposite wall. If you immediately step back out and close the door, the room resets to normal. It's an unwritten rule. If the geometry shifts, do not enter. Yesterday, I was home alone during a massive thunderstorm. The power cut out, plunging the house into pitch black darkness. I needed to get the emergency flashlight from the basement. I felt my way down the hallway, opened the basement door, and walked down the wooden stairs in the dark. As my boots hit the concrete floor, I turned on my phone screen to use the glare. My heart dropped. The basement was massive. The walls stretched out into a vast, endless concrete labyrinth that went on for miles. The ceiling was so high I couldn't see it. The 10% rule had triggered. I had entered a distorted space. Panicking, I turned around to run back up the stairs and exit the room to reset it. I ran up the wooden steps, pushed the door open, and slammed it behind me, breathing heavily in the pitch-black hallway. I waited 10 seconds for the house to reset, then turned on my phone screen to guide myself back to my bedroom. But as the screen lit up the hallway, I realized the hallway was gone. I was standing in a vast, open desert under a purple sky, with my house's front door sticking out of the sand. I hadn't stepped back into my house. My house was the 10% room, and I had just locked myself out of reality.